everyone. If you are just tuning in, you are listening to Level Up Nation, and I am your host, Stacey Freer from the Dustin Pritchard Real Estate Team, joined with co-host
Dustin Pritchard. How you doing?
Hey. So today we are talking all about restaurants. I know there's lots of people who are missing going to their favorite restaurant. A lot of you have been doing really good and ordering takeout from your favorite restaurant. Just want to quickly shout out to King of the Pigs, my friends Sandy and Rui. They appreciate all your business. They are open for takeout and delivery. If you live in the London area, they are located on 706 Hamilton Road. So quick shout out to them. But Dustin, you posted a really interesting article on your social media page about restaurants reopening and what the new normal would be. Want to go into that just a little bit?
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
It's interesting. Glad we're talking about it.
Interesting. Now, not in a morbid sense or anything like that, but it is interesting because sharing a meal has traditionally been, well, it's part of being human. It's what we do, right? It's we share meals with our
friends. From the test of time.
What's that?
From the test of time. There's even a famous picture of like a bunch of people sharing a meal. Just saying.
Apparently, right? And so sharing meals is very, very important to human culture and our connectivity to each other, right? And restaurants are a great place for us to go and do that. But this crisis has changed human behavior overnight, right? And the governments have shut down certain businesses that are non-essential or that could run the risk of helping the virus spread and things like that. And restaurants are right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of that, right, getting affected. And a lot of restaurants are small business owners, just like King of the Pigs, and they're getting affected dramatically. And they're hoping, as we talk about lifting restrictions, which the government's starting to talk about, which is great, it's fantastic. They're hoping that they're named in the, essential services or, start rolling out, opening up restaurants again. And I posted this article because some of the countries that got hit first, before Canada, before United States, they're already on the upward swing of recovery, and they're starting to do interesting things. So I posted this article about this restaurant in Italy where they have this, a two-seater table that is in the restaurant. We all know what they look like, but there's a pane of plexiglass right down the middle of the table, separating the two parties that are supposed to be eating together. They're both wearing gloves or both wearing masks, and like there's restaurants opening with the plexiglass with rules saying that you have to do this, that you have to wear a mask, you have to wear gloves and things like that. And I just found it incredibly curious to see how these businesses are going to respond to reopening, to lifting restrictions and reopening these restaurants.
I just thought it was really interesting, and that's a motto for the restaurants and for their clients. But I gotta ask you a question. If you wanted to take out for dinner, do you think you would want to like talk to her through a plexiglass? Like, do you think kind of like gives me that jail vibe? I don't know. Not that I've been in jail or visited anybody in jail or shared a meal with anyone in jail. But I'm just like, there should be phones maybe on each side. I don't know.
Like you get out of jail just to go eat at a jail? It's kind of like, no, it doesn't feel right to me, but I'll tell you something.
The plexiglass and just like, oh, this is so romantic. Right. Happy anniversary. Yum, yum, yum. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I will say though, if we're at home, if we're restricted to say you got to stay home, social distancing, but quarantine yourself and all that, and stay at home, which many of us are doing right now. I don't know, a couple more weeks of this, and I'd probably eat plexiglass at a restaurant as opposed to looking through plexiglass. It's like, come on, let's get out of here, But is it the most ideal situation? No, of course not. Would I rather, cook at home and barbecue something or do something special at home? I would, but restaurants play such a big part of our lives.
Yeah, it's just nice to go and like get some ambiance. But if you got that like Jailhouse Rock ambiance, I don't know if I want to go and pay for that. But
yeah,
I think it's an interesting debate.
Yeah, you're paying for an experience, not just the food, right?
Yeah, but again, also you want to support local, and one of I think both of our favorite things to do is go and dine in Grand Bend. Um, like I just love the beach and love the beach vibes there. There's tons of great restaurants. So I mean, I'd probably suck it up and get over my Plexiglas blues, just to have a nice frothy pint by the beach.
Frothy pint by the beach. That sounds so lovely. Sounds so amazing. I was walking down the Grand Bend Strip actually the other day, and there's not very many people around, but I did notice that one of the restaurants, actually you and I went to that one, the Tipsy Pelican down near the beach, and they had their staff standing out on their patio, and they were literally doing walk-by handouts, deliveries as people were walking by, collecting their takeouts, and they were writing things down and staying super safe, which was really cool to see. But it was that's what restaurants are doing right now. So I know that a lot of people, like in our industry, we're talking about this. We see a lot of realtors do this and supporting our communities, which realtors do a great job of doing. And I just want to do a shout out and a hat tip to any realtor that is publicly showing that they're supporting local businesses, because that encourages other people to do the same thing. And restaurants, most of these restaurants are not big chains. Most of these restaurants are small businesses, mom and pop shops, sometimes run with their kids, a lot of times without employees. Like I used to run a restaurant, and I worked at the restaurant that I ran, right? So this isn't like a big chain where you're, buying a franchise and stuff like that. You get all the staff. They're getting hurt too, and not saying that it's easier for them, but the small business owners that are, literally going from week to week to be able to make a living on a week-to-week basis just by operating a restaurant. Hat tip to all those people that are supporting King Pigs. Stacy, you're doing a great job there. I love supporting Zare's Country Market because I get all my meats and pies and things like that from there. And I just want to do a shout out and a hat tip to anybody that's doing the same thing. For those of you guys who are doing like takeout parties and where everybody takes out and eats it at home on Zoom, and that's awesome. Like thank you so much, because you are the reason, literally you are the reason why these restaurants are still going to be there for us to go and eat through plexiglass, maybe, but at least go there and socialize and eat. You're the reason why they're still going to be there. So thank you.
Absolutely. And the other thing too, like a lot of people aren't really thinking of the workers there too, like the bartenders, the cooks, the dishwashers, the waitresses. Um, Most of my teen and early 20s, I worked in a bar. Loved bartending, loved waitressing, but I was living paycheck to paycheck while trying to go to school. Um, so, like, I mean, I'm sure those guys want to get back to work too because it's tough. Like, it is so tough staying home and not knowing when and not knowing what to do. Um, so I think if restaurants do get back, I'm nervous, and I think like this echoes a lot through other people's nervousness. But the second pandemic or the second wave, if we open something like this, are we susceptible to getting a second wave of the pandemic? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we just interviewed a professor at McMaster, and the second wave is a very, very big concern. It's not an immediate concern. Well, it kind of is, because the actions that we take today are going to affect whether or not this completely flattens out and we recover, or if we have to do this again. And now we do have the benefit of having recorded history and seeing like 1918 and the pandemic that happened then, where they did get a second wave after they said, okay, we're lifting restrictions, and everybody partied in the streets. And then there was a massive, massive second wave that was even worse than the first one. Now we've got that benefit of history. We know that that can happen, and that will happen if we relax some of the restrictions and don't maintain social distancing. So, a lot of restaurants, they know this, and they know that restaurants are typically a place where people gather together, and they're worried. They're worried that they're going to be one of the last industries and the last businesses or type of business that are going to be opened up and lifted. Once we've proven that there's no second wave, or maybe a minimal minimal second wave or maybe minor hotspots that occur, they're very and justifiably worried about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, if you guys are tuning in and you're listening, when we do broadcast this, I would really love to get your feedback. So hit us up in the links below, comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you would go out for dinner, if you have no problems with plexiglass, or if you're kind of like me and feel like you'd be like, hey, how's it going? How's your bread?
So how's the dating scene with plexiglass, right? Talk about safe dating.
Yeah.
No comment. No comment on that.
No comment on that.
No comment on that. Right? So, you know what? Here's a parting comment for you. The restaurants have a justifiable concern that they might be one of the last ones to be opened up unless lifting the restrictions for them. So the thing that we can do to make sure that our restaurants that we love to go see, that we love to go experience, that we love the food, the people, support them, right? Franchises to small shops, everybody needs our help right now. And God knows, you know, we're probably all getting a little tired of cooking our own food right now. So order the takeout if you can. Support the local businesses as much as you possibly can, because they deserve it. Because think about this. Who do you hit up for sponsoring your sports team? The local businesses. Who do you hit up to support your local charity event or your drive or your function of one kind or another? You go into the restaurants and the small businesses and saying, hey, can you sponsor this? Well, now it's time to give them something back, right? They've been there for you. Give back.
And if you're a parent and you've been dealing with some kids all week long, and the last thing you want to do is cook, give them a call. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You've been listening to Level Up Nation with myself, your host, Stacey Preer, and co-host,
Mr. Pritchard.
We've been talking all about restaurants. And we want to know whether or not you would go to a restaurant, if you would rush out and go and get your nosh on. So leave us some comments. We'd love to continue this conversation with you. And as always, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you next time.